Sens Talk is proud to be powered by Ottawa Interlock Repair for the 2025-26 Sens season. For all your interlock needs, visit interlockrepair.com. Today may have been honestly one of the most chaotic, upsetting, and miserable days in Senator franchise history. And I know that may seem reactionary, and it may be seen to you as a little over-emotional. I promise you it's not. And if you were online for the majority of today and you saw the things that were on Twitter, the things that were said, if you watched this game and you saw the signing that was made midway through as well during one of the most pathetic performances I've ever seen, you would completely agree with me. And you would think I probably am not going hard enough. You know, I want to scream. I want to lose my freaking mind right now. But you know what? If they're not going to show any energy and emotion and flair and anger out there, why am I going to show some anger here? If they're going to be checked out, why do I not get checked out? You know what I mean? Why do I not get to have a little bit of a day off here and just coast, just like they did again tonight? You know, I don't know how many times I can say that the Senators season is not over. The playoffs are certainly not out of reach, and there's plenty of hockey left. And I guess that all still remains true, but let's just stop kidding ourselves. Yes, the Senators can still make the playoffs, but is it likely they do? Hell no. Hell no. We're talking 6+ points out of a playoff spot now, 10+ points out of a divisional spot, with multiple teams to leapfrog. Good luck. Good luck. I mean, it's not impossible. Teams have done it before. The Ottawa Senators have done it before. Shout out to the Hamburglar. But if you watch this team right now, there's no way they're going to be able to do this right now because they look checked out. Right now, the current iteration of your Ottawa Senators look like an AHL team. They're not playing like an NHL team. They're not playing like anything other than a group of players that have moments of skill, because this is a skilled hockey team with a lot of good hockey players, but no cohesiveness, no cohesion with one another, and most of all, no saves. Yet again, no saves tonight by your goalies. And I guess we'll just jump into the goaltending situation all around, because that's really the theme of this video, to be honest with you. Whether it's the goals and the goalies that played today, the goalie that did not play today, or the goalie we signed today. Today was all about the goalies for your Ottawa Senators. So before we talk about the goalies that were in the net tonight for Ottawa, let's talk about the goalie that wasn't in the net for Ottawa tonight and the goalie that may be in the Ottawa crease sooner rather than later. We'll start with Linus Ullmark. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the rumors we've been seeing on Twitter and whatnot. I mean, again, these are just rumors. These are allegations. Nothing has been proven. But the gist of it is basically that the Senators center around Ullmark allegedly have engulfed themselves in a cheating scandal. Again, there's no proof to verify these claims. These are all, again, just allegations and rumors that are being spread online and throughout, hockey circles here in Ottawa. The Senators GM, Steve Staios, put out a powerful statement today. Look at your screen right now. He certainly did not mince words, and I will read his quote directly. He said, "Our organization was extremely disappointed to read the completely fabricated and false stories that are spreading around social media about our hockey club. Linus Ullmark is away from our team for personal reasons, and he has the entire organization's support. We ask that people respect his privacy, but clearly that request was not heard by the lowest forms of trolls and sick people who scour the internet. We are disgusted that outside forces are attempting to disrupt our hockey club. This statement will put an end to the ridiculous speculation that has spread online." That is a quote directly from Sens GM Steve Staios that was posted just before puck drop tonight against Colorado. And that is a powerful statement. I love the fact that Staios is backing his goaltender and sticking up for his players. You want to see that always. The statement, however, a lot of people were saying it's, a crazy type of statement. Just the wording of the statement itself is something they've never really seen before from an NHL team, and that is really, really true. I mean, it certainly is a very strongly worded statement, and I like that personally. I like the fact that the GM is sticking up for his player, and again, if they are saying this is not true and they're willing to put their word where the mouth is, so to speak, there, and put out a statement like this. That's reassuring for us Sens fans that these ridiculous things that we were hearing online may not be true. But again, you don't often see a statement like that. So clearly the Sens are not thrilled about what has been circulating online and in the rumor mill, so to speak, as of late surrounding Ullmark. And it makes sense. Again, Ullmark, right now, we don't know what's going on. But what we do know is the Senators are asking for him to have some privacy and some time, and we should give him that. Regardless of what's going on, it's none of our business, so we'll just kind of end it there. And again, if there are new developments to the story or whatnot, obviously we'll update that in the future. But, again, I'm glad to see the Sens GM sticking up for their goaltender, for their players, for their organization, and, again, a very strongly worded statement that, again, I don't think you're going to see replicated really ever again. Some really strong wording in that statement. But again, when you have situations like this, sometimes you need to have some strong wording to get ahead of it and kind of, put out the fire before it really starts to spread. So again, that was just a crazy, crazy thing. And, I'll just leave it at that. Because again, these are all allegations, all rumors, and nothing can be proven. And again, ultimately, all that matters is Ullmark is okay, his family is okay, and we give him the privacy that the Senators and himself have asked for. So we'll leave it at that. Now, obviously, that sets the stage for what was a chaotic game and day overall for Ottawa, because just for any other franchise, that alone would be the story of maybe the last few years. For the Ottawa Senators, this is just another Thursday. It's unbelievable how every year there's some BS, whether it's true or not, some BS around this Ottawa Senator team. And again, I'm not TMZ. I'm Sens Talk. I don't want to be a TMZ. I want to talk about hockey. I don't want to talk about any gossip stuff. So with that, let's jump into the hockey. So Ottawa today looking to get their first win in Denver in nearly a decade. And on that note, Colorado has not lost in regulation at home all year. So not exactly a great mix right there. Speaking of mixing, the forward lines were completely juggled before puck drop today. Halliday was a scratch. Nick Jensen was a scratch. So Manapalo was drawn back into the lineup. I did not like the fact that Halliday was a scratch, even though that, yes, it's great to have Lars Eller back in the lineup. Stephen Halliday has been nothing but great since coming over here from Belleville. And this is a guy that, if he's not going to be playing in Belleville, should be playing in Ottawa. This is not a guy that should be riding the press box, especially when he doesn't deserve it. He's been one of Ottawa's better players, especially in that bottom six. So I'm not going to break down every single goal in this game for obvious reasons. You ate to see it, right? It was an 8-2 loss for Ottawa today. Just absolutely pathetic in every fashion and every facet of the game. Tkachuk had his first shorthanded goal, which was nice to see, I guess. Whatever. I mean, it made it 8-2. It's like when Chris Paul took his shot and brought the score to within 40. It doesn't make a difference, right? But a little surprising that Tkachuk hasn't had a shorthanded goal until this point, so there you go. And obviously the Ottawa Senators scored a goal earlier to make it a 3-1 game. Again, Ottawa for a second there kind of looked like maybe they can force their way back into it. Shane Pinto with a bar-down snipe. Sanderson gets an assist on the goal to extend his point streak to 6 straight games. That's probably the only positive note about Ottawa in the last few games is Sanderson continuing to just produce at both ends of the ice. Moments after that, it looked like Ottawa brought the game to within 1 as Zetterlund on the wraparound looked to have poked it home, but it was offside, so no goal. And it feels like every single game a goal is called off for Ottawa due to a goalie interference or offside or whatever type of review. And this was the right call. This should not have been a goal, but I don't care. It's really annoying. It's so freaking annoying. Whenever the Sens score, you got to wonder, is this goal going to be called off or not? Is this even going to be a good goal? It's ridiculous. The Senators are genuinely cursed on and off the ice, just cursed. Nothing is going their way this year as they lose 3 straight games in regulation. They fall 8-2 to the Colorado Avalanche in an absolute beatdown of the ages. The Colorado Avalanche probably could have scored double digits tonight. So thank you, Colorado, for not, going completely hard in the paint there in the second half of the game. They had 6 goals halfway through the game. Ridiculous. You had Merolainen in, then Sogard, then Merolainen in again for the third period. So just yikes. And you know what? Midway through the game, or earlier on in the third period, just around there after the third period begun, Darren Dreger reported that the Senators have signed James Reimer, Optimus Prime, the former Toronto Maple Leaf starter. He also played last year in Buffalo. He's an NHL veteran. They've signed him to an AHL professional tryout, and Bruce Garriock reports, and Darren Dreger also reports, that in the next few days he will sign an NHL deal and is expected to be the backup for Ullmark when he returns, and in the meantime should help stabilize the Senators' crease. He will start in Belleville to kind of get his grounding. Recently he played with Team Canada at the Spengler Cup, which is my favorite tournament in international hockey that's not called, of course, the Olympics or the World Juniors. Just absolutely love the aura that is Davos and that arena and everything that comes with it. But again, this is a guy that brings 525 games of NHL experience. He's won 225 of those games, putting up a .910 save percentage and a 2.89 goals against average during that span. Last year with Buffalo, he went 10-8-2, so a winning record on a not-so-great hockey team with an .899 save percentage and a .734 goal save above expected. So again, that GSAX, that goal save above expected, that alone we will take gladly, all right? Because, again, $8.99, not the greatest, but you know what? We'll also take that, because right now the Senators as a team have a below .880 save percentage. It's crazy how bad the save percentage is for Ottawa, how bad the goaltending has been for Ottawa. And that's what really pisses me off after yet another disgraceful effort tonight by your Ottawa Senators, is they willingly walked into the slaughterhouse doing nothing. Steve Stais, Travis Green, these guys have done nothing. They've made no changes. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We've seen the same thing night after night after night after night with bad result after bad result after bad result after bad result, to the point now where we're looking at the standings and thinking to ourselves, why even think about the playoffs? It's such a far way to go. And again, the Senators cannot blame anyone but themselves. So hopefully James Reimer's a guy that can kind of steady the waters. At the worst case, just be a solid backup guy for Ullmark when he returns. And at the best case, is a guy that can step in and hopefully get the Senators going here and somehow miraculously turn around the season and go on a run. Again, he's an NHL veteran, experienced goaltender who has a lot of starting experience as well. That's exactly what Ottawa needed. I don't care if you like Reimer or not. You can't disagree with that. We needed a guy like this to at least stabilize the waters, because right now Ottawa's goaltending is not doing it. It's just not doing it. It's not even AHL caliber, frankly. It's just pathetic. And again, you know what? I can't really get too pissed off at Sogard, friend of the show. Shout out to him. He was thrown to the Wolves here, first NHL game in over a year against the Colorado Avalanche, just an absolute juggernaut, not really fair to him. And then Levi Marilainen, again, he's still young, he's still developing. I think he's still got a very, very bright future. But obviously when you're relying on two rookie goalies with limited experience, that's not exactly a recipe for success. And again, the Senators have no one to blame but themselves. And again, it really, really, really pisses me off. And I'm not saying we need to fire Travis Green or Steve Stais. I'm not there yet. I don't think anyone should be. Again, these are two guys that brought the Sens to the playoffs last year. There's still half a year to go. A lot can happen. We'll see what happens at the end of the year. We can talk about that later. What I will say, though, is Steve Stais should absolutely be held accountable for the lack of action to this point. Not even firing the goaltending coach, for goodness sake. It makes no sense. No sense. Truly. Zero. Zilch. None. No sense at all. Because every single goaltender in the NHL system, in Ottawa's system, has a below 900 save percentage, and not even close to a 900 save percentage since Justin Peters was brought here as the goaltending coach. It's inexcusable, it's unacceptable, and it has to change, and it has to change now. Now today, Detroit, Montreal, Toronto, Boston, and Pittsburgh all won. So the Senators, again, they're losing ground in the standings while other teams are making up ground and pushing themselves even further away from us. So, again, between just the crazy rumors we were hearing on Twitter, the signing today mid-game, and the absolute, pumping we saw today by Ottawa tonight in this effort against Colorado, this was an absolute tiring day, a chaotic day, and a day that could not end soon enough for Ottawa and its fan base. And speaking of the fan base, I'll just leave it at this. The Senators fan base deserves so much better. Truly, they do. They pay a lot of money to go to games. They've supported this team through thick and thin. They show up no matter if they're good or bad. They, show passion and energy no matter how the results are. And the team is just not giving us the same exact treatment. I'm sorry. If your name's not Tim Stützle or Jake Sanderson, you're just not giving us the same exact treatment. And Tom Chabot, by the way, in that category as well. So, again, still a lot of hockey left. I saw some fight today. You saw Stützle getting into a fight, which was great to see. Clevin got into a fight early on. So there's moments there where the guys show some emotion, and hopefully, just an absolute embarrassing effort like this and an absolute embarrassing result like this can kind of wake them up and hopefully get them going and kind of make them realize, holy cow, this is pathetic and we can do better and we need to do better. Because otherwise, we're looking at a lost season here, ladies and gentlemen. There's no other way to put it. We're looking at a lost season. And on that note, check out my video from last night after Ottawa's loss to Utah, where I really dive into why the Senators have gotten to this point and how they can fix things. I'm not going to jump into that again in this video, purely because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm tired. I slept like 3-4 hours last night. I got to wake up again at 6 o'clock tomorrow. And most of all, if the Senators are not going to give a damn, why should I give a damn and talk about this even more? So with that, I will save my anger and just get a good sleep tonight, and hopefully on Saturday we can push forward and hopefully somehow get on a run here and get back into the playoff conversation, because right now we're not in the playoff conversation, and also we're not in the draft lottery conversation, as you all know. So it's just great times to be an Ottawa Senator fan, ladies and gentlemen. Just absolutely great times. So with that, I'll see you all on Saturday night when Ottawa takes on the Florida Panthers as they look to snap a 3-game losing streak. So with that, I'll see you all soon. As always, no matter what, go Sens go.